Alright guys, I am filming this video under the mutual agreement that you will not clown me for how my bookshelves look. I do not want to do a full reset. I do, however, want to show you what books I have on my bookshelves and get rid of some of the books that I don't need or want. And that includes my red shelf over here and my TBR shelf, which is in the other room that I'll show you later. So, as long as you agree to that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're starting off with a bang. First of all, this is here. Honestly, just because I didn't have room for it anywhere else. But we're gonna go through my shelves. So in case you're curious, these are all the books that I have on my A to B. And I don't think I'm gonna get rid of any of these. Some favorites: Bat Eater, Tainted Cup, Bird and the Nightingale, Now Back to You, Yesteryear, Thrown in the Dark, and When the Wolf Comes Home. So, nothing on that shelf. Let's see if there's anything we can get rid of here. Alright, don't look at my dust. Honestly, okay, here we go. Finlay, Donovan is killing it. I got this book, and I liked it when I read it. I have no desire to go on to the next books in the series, and I don't think I'm ever going to reread this, so this is getting unhauled. Apparently Michael Crichton has become weird lately. But I also just kind of want to keep these for nostalgia, so I don't think I'm going to get rid of those. Okay, so I did some more research and I actually found out that Michael Crichton was not just weird. He had some really strange political views and went from being pro-respect of science in Jurassic Park to a complete nutcase, and wrote a book about eco-terrorists and that climate change isn't real, and those were his actual political views too. He also got into an argument with a journalist who was critiquing that book about climate change and portrayed him in his next book as a child molester with a small penis, which is just childish. And I don't know anything about this journalist, but you can't just call people that you don't like. So we're not going to be reading any more Michael Crichton, and I'm not keeping those books. We do need to make more room under the H's for my Talia Hibbert books. Okay, I think what we're going to do, these books are going to go in my forgotten shelf. We're going to move some things around. So, can these fit here? Yes, they can. We now have one of my favorite books from this year that I have finished. I also finished Woodworking, which is not going to go on that shelf, but I need to take it out. So let's find a place for this. Now we've made it to the MNOPs, and to be honest, Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, I will not be keeping. This one, however, 10 times better. All of these, I feel happy with keeping, especially, I haven't talked to you guys about this one, Cherry Baby. I felt like it was somewhat written about me. Not the relationship dynamics, but being plus size, being raised Catholic, all of that jazz. I'll be talking about this in a wrap up. My witchy shelf, this is staying. I just got this Mothman dude. I need a different place for these. But right now it is what it is. All right, Batilda, I gotta move you for a second. The Har, not worth keeping. I do think I did annotate this. No, I didn't. Why am I still keeping this? I did not like this book. Not Another Love Song. I think I am going to keep it for now. Starving Saints, I found this really interesting because I got this from Aardvark. And I got a copy that was like not cut completely. See, now you can't tell. I think I sliced them open, but gave me a free book credit for this. But Yeah, I liked this book. I'm gonna keep it, including all of these. I liked these as well. Don't bother with the Christmas one of Aaron Sterling. These are the only two you need to read. If you like witchy romances set in, I don't know if they're both set in October, but very good. Also, Vera Wong, can't go wrong. I did not mean to rhyme, but I'm okay with it. These, I feel like, are slept on. Fortuna Sworn, Restless Slumber. I did not actually finish Restless Slumber yet, but I am gonna read that at some point. This next shelf is a little bit weird because A, this is broken, so my lights are broken, and B, it's got books that I love and books that kind of embarrassed that I enjoyed, including the entire Twilight series when I was younger, and Stray Medication. I don't know if there's anything I'd get rid of on this shelf, to be honest. I actually enjoyed pretty much everything. Except, well, I mean, I enjoyed these, but kind of embarrassingly. Cemetery Boys, very, very good. All of this. Any Chuck Tingle that I've read, except Camp Damascus, just because it has bugs and I can't do bugs. Very, very good. We have room to put Emily St. James here, which is great because I love this book and I want to keep it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I've read the first 2 books in this. It is a series. I don't know what to do with it right now. These are my classics, and I don't think I'm going to get rid of any of these. All right, so we're starting out with this shelf right here. This is my first TBR shelf, and I have a whole other bookshelf over here. But I'm not getting rid of anything on this first, like, V. I really want to read these, and like everything on here I want to read very soon. So except for maybe What Hunger, I'm not super sure I'm gonna read that. I don't know. I think we'll take this out and see if that's something we want to keep. Okay, so these two, I wish they were the same size. I'm not getting rid of these. These are nostalgic. I got these partially for Matt, partially for myself, because I used to read these over and over and over again, the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Definitely need to read this. All of these are staying. I think all of these are staying. We're gonna look at True Biz and see if that's something I want to read. I got it for a reason, so we'll see. I think this is, it's a River Valley School for the Deaf, and it's a story of sign language, lip reading, disability, and civil rights. So I feel like I'm gonna keep this, but it depends on if it's YA or not, I think. So we're gonna check this out. I don't think it's YA, but we're gonna check. We're gonna check. All right, Sisters of the Lost Nation, I just got that. Mother Thing, I just got that. Starling House, we'll look at that. I've heard it's good, but who knows? I do love Alex E. Harrow. Jesus Puzzle, this is figuring out if Jesus was mythical or a real person, and it's told from a non-Christian perspective, but it is very academic. So I don't know. We're gonna take a look at that too. Because I did start reading that and I wasn't sure. All right, so we looked at these. We kind of need to look at these. Forget Me Not, I have by Julie Soto. I don't know if I want to keep this. I'm not huge into Raylo fan fiction, and I didn't know this author was only Raylo fan fiction, and I feel like there's some ethical issues with publishing fan fiction as your own book, but we'll see. We're gonna check that out. These aren't like fast and hard unhauls. It's some of the stuff I want to look at again before I decide 100% if I'm keeping it or not. All of this stuff is getting kept. All of this stuff is getting kept. House of Leaves I'm probably going to be reading in actual spooky season in October. That's going to be a big undertaking. P. Deli Clark. This is a book that I have not read from him that I got recently, and this one I'm really excited about. I think it's a fantasy. Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities Between the Magical and Mundane Realms. Interesting. Shield Maiden, we might end up getting rid of this. I have not seen good reviews on it. I got it not reading reviews. I don't know, maybe we'll read like the first couple pages and see if I want this. I need to read all of these. These are not getting taken away. And then I have a whole stack of mass market paperbacks. Some of these are, so I have like Assassin's Apprentice and Royal Assassin, and I wouldn't keep the stand, except I got this in Colorado which I love Colorado. And one of my best friends who's no longer with us told me to read this, so I'm still gonna read it. Daisy Darker, I've heard, is one of Alice Feeney's only actually good thrillers. So they're coming for Nana's 80th birthday. So I think this is kind of like a And Then There Were None retelling, which I'm still interested in. We'll see. Fire Bookshelf is like my main TBR. I already know I want to get rid of Una Out of Order. I'm just really not super into contemporary mysteries or whatever this is. I am just not super interested in this anymore. And then another contemporary fiction that I don't think I'm going to keep is this one. It sounds interesting, but I just don't see when I'm ever actually going to read this. But it is shortlisted for the Booker Prize. But that doesn't mean that it's something I'm going to be interested in. I don't know. We're going to put that in a pile. Her Body and Other Parties, I do still need to read. Holes. That's a very young book. We're gonna put that on the list and see if we want to keep it. And then these, I really liked the beginning of this series. The City of Brass was the first one. I'm gonna keep those for now, I think. We've got Six Up Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I'm gonna keep. I haven't read them yet because you're supposed to read The Shadow Hunters. Is that what it is? The other series by Leigh Bardugo. That's a YA series. I have not heard great things about it, but I've been told you need to read it before you read these. I will look into that, but I am keeping these because I do want to read them no matter what. These two I got as like not looking at the ratings, and I have plans for them for reading vlogs. This one's like a librarian who doesn't realize she's a witch. Her whole family is witches. This one is a weird like sci-fi fantasy type thing. Some Into the Wilds is actually probably something I'm going to be reading really soon. It is the sequel to Thrown in the Dark, which is kind of a tongue-in-cheek enemies to lovers fantasy that is very self-aware, and I really liked that one, and I just really need to read the second one. New Jim Crow, keeping that. Sunrise on the Reaping, keeping that. I need to do a whole Hunger Games reread. Let's put these two together, including The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping. I haven't read these two. I've obviously read the other three when I was a teenager or middle school, and I need to reread all of them. Bloody Rose, I do think I am keeping it for now. Actor A.G. Brown, I'm actually going to put this on my regular shelf because I have read it before. I was just going to do a reread of everything and decided against it. I read Take a Hint, Danny Brown. That was the only Brown Sisters book that I hadn't read yet. This one I have read, so it's just going on my regular read shelf. These ones, these two, I have not gotten rid of them just because I don't think I'm going to actually read Her Majesty's Royal Coven or the second one. I just really like the covers, but I think I've been told that they're very like in your face and aren't actually that good. Love and Other Words, I've already decided I'm getting rid of that. I tend to not have good luck with Christina Lauren books. Brandon Sanderson's Skyward, I'm going to keep that. By Any Other Name, I'm going to keep that. And then we're down to these. I'm keeping all three of these. I have not read, obviously you can tell I'm over halfway through this one, but I'm definitely going to have to reread that one. This is the Expanse series. I've only read the first one in full. Jodi Picoult, I'm going to keep that. This I'm getting rid of. John dies at the end. I just don't really care about it. These two I bought when I worked at Barnes & Noble the second time, and they're so beautiful. I think I'm going to put these in the pile and then decide after. The Sword of Kaigen, I've heard mixed reviews on. I think I'm going to keep it for now. And then the Holly Blacks I'm going to keep. Also the Count of Monte Cristo and Mad Honey, definitely keeping those. Fingersmith I think I am going to keep. I don't know. So Petty Thieves, Another Orphan. I can't tell if this is just like historical fiction or if it actually has some sort of like fantasy. Shortlisted for the Man Booker and the Orange Prize. I think I'm going to keep it. Book of Two Ways. Again, I love Jodi Picoult. I think I'm going to put these together though, along with this one. All right, so we're going to go through everything I've got over here. I did decide as I was taking things off the shelf, I am going to go ahead and get rid of these. They're gorgeous. I love the colors, but I don't see myself ever reading these, especially because I've heard that technically they say all the right things as far as like feminism and women taking their power back, but it's so in your face that it feels fake. So that doesn't really appeal to me. This one is a book that feels like it's sarcastic. Their names are fake. His best friend's John. John dies at the end. It's like a sci-fi thing. If you know it, you know it. I'm just not really as interested in this as I was when I got this book. I think I got it off of Thrift Books anyway, so not a huge deal. We'll see if Thrift Books wants it back. A Magic Steeped in Poison and A Venom Dark and Sweet. Yeah, this just seems too YA to me. It's like a competition with tea and poison. So I think these are gonna go to hopefully a teenager that really likes these. I may see if Thrift Books wants these, but I might just donate these so that someone can get them. And I really hope someone doesn't just try to resell them. Holes. Yeah, this is very middle grade. I'm also going to give this, probably just donate this so someone can read it. I wonder if there's a library I can donate this to, because I know my library, they would do like a library sale where people could get the books that people donate for 25 cents. But I want to donate this to a library where a kid is going to read it and return it to the library, and then some other kid can read it. So I'm going to do some research and see if I can find something about that. I am going to get rid of this because people love to ride dirt bikes in my neighborhood. I think this is about a sex worker who has been murdered, and she lives for 10 minutes and 38 seconds, and it's like vignettes of her life, which sounds really interesting, but it's just... It sounds really interesting. I'm just not super into contemporary fiction. Una Out of Order. This sounds interesting because she's living each year out of order, but again, contemporary fiction, just don't think I'm going to pick it up. Love in Other Words. Christina Lauren I've not had good luck with, so I am going to go ahead and get rid of that. The Jesus Puzzle. Yeah, unfortunately, like my husband suggested this and it sounds really cool. I like the premise of it. This is a nonfiction, but it is just too academic for me. And if I do want to end up reading it or listening to it, if it has an audiobook, I don't know if it does, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to donate this or sell it and see if somebody wants it. Let's see about the Starling House. I just don't know if I ever see myself reading this. Somebody else might get more enjoyment out of the Starling House. It's like a haunted house story. Opal, she's a high school dropout. She keeps getting pulled to this house in her town and something sinister is going on, which sounds really cool. I just have a feeling this is going to be really mid for me, so I don't feel like I need to keep it. Forget Me Not, I've decided that, and I don't think I'm going to keep Not Another Love Song. I think I am actually going to get rid of Not Another Love Song because I'm never going to reread Not Another Love Song, and I don't think I'm going to read Forget Me Not. I enjoyed this while I read it, and I think I gave it a 4 at the time, but I literally is never going to reread it, so there's no point in keeping that. Shield Maiden, yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep that either. I do think I am going to keep True Biz because it piqued my interest when we were talking about it before. And yeah, I think I am going to keep this because I've heard good things about this, and though it is contemporary, it's interesting enough, and it talks about like community and civil rights and all of that, and disability rights, that I think I am going to keep this. So far, that's the only one I've kept that I decided to possibly get rid of. What Hunger? Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to get to this, so I'm not going to keep this. It's like a good for her story, which I feel like is very hit or miss. The horror, I already know that I was very underwhelmed by this book, and I did not make any annotations in it, and other people probably want this, so I'm going to try and sell this to Thrift Books. 84 Charing Cross Road. This one was just okay. Real correspondence from a woman in a bookstore in England, and it was okay, and it was really short. I just don't ever see myself rereading this. And then A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. This one was so disappointing compared to the predecessor, which was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I feel like you either like one or the other better. I liked the other one, so we're not keeping this. I did read it. I'm never going to reread it, so. And then Finlay Donovan is Killing It. I, again, will never reread this. This was fun at the time. Somebody overhears her talking about her suspense novel. She's an author. People think she is actually a killer and try and get her to kill somebody. It was fun. Like I said, I don't feel like I'm ever going to want to continue on. I tried reading the second book in the series. didn't care about it. So I will never reread this, and I'm not collecting the series anymore. So we're gonna get rid of that too. So 19 books are getting unhauled. Most of them were surprisingly on my TBR, and I just needed to be real with myself. I might do another pass through again soon, which I'll probably just do in a vlog for you guys. But yeah, I just really don't see myself rereading the ones that I have read or actually getting to the ones that I haven't. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and unhaul those. I think my battery on my mic is gonna die, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this little bookshelf tour and unhaul. I might do a more in-depth bookshelf tour with it cleaned up once I'm able to. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you felt a little bit of catharsis like I did, getting rid of all these books. That way I can make more room for my TBR and my red shelf. I was able to put some of the books that I had waiting to be added to my red shelf that I just didn't have room for. So this is what we are looking at right now. It's not super exciting. I need to do a full reset and clean. Maybe you will see that in the future if you're interested in it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!